Well.
Who's ready for wandering?
Yay!
I'm not.
Oh.
Stops recording immediately. So, from the looks of things, I need 7 heart pieces and 18 shells. I at least have a thing that tells me when I am near a shell. So I guess we're just gonna kind of go place by place and hope for the best. Now, I don't know if any are in dungeons. I don't plan on going inside any dungeons.
There's none in dungeons.
What do you mean?
What?
No, this. Is this the post-game
Oh.
one?
Oh.
There's apparently a post-game figurine. That's annoying. Which is weird, because there's no post-game.
Oh.
But,
That is weird.
what was in this well? I don't remember.
Well, well, well.
A dog always returns to his vomit. Okay. Nothing in here. So yeah,
Good
this
well.
is
I'm pretty sure there's a heart piece.
yeah, probably. Okay, so the thing is, like, I'm assuming most of the heart pieces are probably, like, either in caves or, like, just, like, dig in this suspicious spot or, like, dive underwater or that
I don't
kind of
think
thing.
you dig for any of the heart pieces.
Okay. But I will not rule out the possibility of, like, NPC stuff. I don't think there's much of it, though. So, I'm not gonna, like... I'm not expecting any, like, major quests that I have to go on. I feel like the original game probably wouldn't have had that, and I doubt this added any. So, what was this house again? I don't know if I have to do any fishing. Oh, there's just literally nothing here other than some figurines.
Actually, I think you do have to do fishing.
Okay.
Because you get stuff when you catch a cheap, and you get stuff when you catch a blooper.
Well, I have done neither of
And
those.
you also... There's like a really big fish, and I think you get something for catching that thing, too.
Oh, good. I can't wait to do all that. Because, one might say I could just finish the game, but there's no fun in that when I could spend 2 hours looking for stuff that I don't need. Yeah, dig every spot in the map, yeah. I need to not do that.
So if this entire island is all like a dream sequence, do you think Link would actually keep any of the stuff that he gets while he's here?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if the, like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if it's a, like an actual dream that he's having, and then he wakes up and none of it really happened, or if it's just like the entire island is, like, in a state of flux. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna stop talking. You know, state of flux. Okay, that looks like a seashell right there. I don't know how I would get it, though.
I actually think the seashell's on the other side.
Okay. Because there's literally a seashell in the sand there, but now I'm seeing there's a bunch more. Alright.
Yeah, there you go. See, I have vague memories of things.
Do you get a heart piece from finding all the shells, or is it something much less impressive?
I think one of the prizes is a heart piece. I can't remember which ones you've gotten, though.
Oh, I see, the screaming gazelle has returned.
It's the screaming antelope.
I see the screaming,
God,
the screaming caribou has returned.
The vaguely yodeling caribou. Okay, I found that way more funny than it actually was.
Was that, did you just make that up, or was that from something?
Yes.
Yes to both, okay.
No, I made up the vaguely yodeling, and the caribou was from you just saying it now.
No, it doesn't.
And my brain was trying to say the vaguely yelling, but my mouth said yodeling instead.
Good.
It made it better.
I have a very uninteresting story involving, what do you... I was gonna try and be smart and call them, like, by what that group of animal is called, but I don't...
Tall order.
God damn it. Come on, I'm not that dumb.
I'm sorry.
How do you get in that grassy area? Is that... Like, I see a staircase there. I guess it's just you take the staircase and then that's it. So maybe there was, like, a heart over there before. But,
yeah.
But yeah, you know, the hoofed mammals. I don't know what the, like, class...
Horses?
No, not horses. Like...
Whoa! You can't just say hoofed mammals!
I'm
Do you
saying,
know how many of those there are?
That's the point, is I'm trying to say, like, deer, moose, antelope, caribou, elk, etc. Like, what do those... What's, like, the classification for those? Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I have a story related to whatever that word is, and that the story is not interesting. And at this point, I've now spent probably a good, like, 2 minutes building up to this lack of story. So, basically, the lack of story is, a gay man existed once. No.
Uh-oh.
It was...
I know that story.
Yes. No, the story was basically just, my grandma worked in a hotel, which was in a, oh, there's a heart just right here.
Oh, good.
The name of the city was...
I think that was actually one of the last ones I got.
The name of the city was Elk Grove, and this is relevant. So I was,
Okay.
there was, like, a Christmas party they were having at the hotel, and she, like, brought me with once. And they had, like, these little stuffed toys that they were giving out, and they were generic, like, antlered, hoofed mammals. And so, like, the guy who gave one to me is just like, do you know what kind of animal this is? I'm like, a reindeer, because it's Christmas? He's like, no, it's an elk. And I just remember him saying it, like, really, really stupidly. I'm like, okay, I guess, because, sure.
Was it a conveniently shaped lamp?
No, it was an elk.
I have lit and candle.
I have been zapped by a boogin and received arrows.
Oh.
Good sequence of words. For the record, he absolutely did not actually say elk in that way that I just did. That was just my stupid exaggeration of it.
Oh, I see.
When in doubt, just exaggerate the behoozits out of something and it will be funny.
The behoozits.
I can say behoozits.
No.
Coach Z said behoozits.
But not much.
No, it wasn't much. It was once, and it was in an email you haven't seen yet. It was a DVD exclusive.
The family Pafargdal.
I know! It's my favorite!
They said I could spell anything as long as it was my favorite animal.
Oh, Coach Z. Or Coach D, as I always somehow, like, misspell it.
But how?
Because phone keyboard. Every space must be a comma. Every time I try to make an A, it must come out as an S. You know,
about right.
The usual stuff. Elk.
As I continuously to mindlessly... What am I words?
Words are,
Something about tell him into the coach? I don't know.
What?
When I, like, said something really stupid when I was, like, high on cold meds, and I just got quoted by
God.
Cheese for,
Yeah,
like, 7 years. Nobody needs to know that I tell them into the coach. What? I forgot what I was going to say.
Something about root beer.
Um,
Now let me tell you something about women.
no.
Nevev, 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 nevev.
Oh yeah, I was gonna tell the peoples that I am searching for a shiny. It has gone well, but not in the way you'd want.
But not much. It was 16 boxes of Ralts, right?
Yeah.
And one of them
Well,
was a
I
shiny.
got the first shiny like 3 boxes ago, so not even like that much. But it was not a male.
Yeah.
It was a female, and I cry.
Alright, so this is gonna
The
be a
hunt
lot of
continues.
wandering, isn't it? The what?
The hunt continues
Okay.
for both shiny Ralts and for heart pieces.
Of course. And for herpes.
Yes.
So, I'm kind of trying to be methodical. I know there's gonna come a time when that is going to absolutely no longer be the case, and I've already missed this area, and I'm not gonna remember to go back and check it. So, we're off to 6 good starts here.
Well, I am trying to watch and see if I recognize any place that had heart piece, but
Yeah. Yeah, you know. That was not the pretzel voice, so
no.
I regret having done it.
You apologize right now, mister.
Nevev, nevev, nevev. That was my apology.
San Diego.
Not even the San Diego song.
San Diego.
I like those weird things that you have to charge through.
The like random tents.
Yes. A tent situation.
You ran past them because it was past tense. I'm sorry.
You need to get down on your forceps and do the apology dance. I don't even know what forceps are. I think that's like a type of tool. So that was not an accurate term.
No.
I'm pretty sure I've already talked to this guy, but let me make sure. Yeah, you're useless to me.
Good.
Meanwhile, so before I started
15
playing this,
meters away.
yes, before I started playing this, I was doing some Breath of the Wild, which I am very, very slowly going through, and decided like maybe I should finally try and actually make some progress of some variety, because I played through about maybe a tenth of the game at one point, like shortly after it came out, and then stopped playing, and then we started playing through it like a couple months ago, and I have still not barely even touched the game. But so I'm like, I should do the Zora area because I've already done that area in my other playthrough. We can get it out of the way.
Die 73
and then,
times.
Unfortunately, but yeah, it's like. So I'm like, I should do this area because I've already seen this one, and then everything after this will be kind of like a little bit more new and interesting. So I get over there, and there's like, I see the tower to get the map for the area, and there's a shrine. So I do the shrine, and then I come out of it, and then Sidon's like, hey, you should follow me and come to the Zora's Domain, it'll be cool, and come do the shit. And so I did that, and I'm thinking he's like leading me up the mountain to where I saw the tower, and he's not at all.
And I wasn't
So-
watching any of this at this
And, like-
point because I was writing some D&D stuff, so I wasn't paying attention to tell him no.
Yeah, it was really annoying because I want the map for the area, and I've missed it. And now I'm finding that, and like I vaguely remember this too. Like I'm finding apparently it's really weird that I missed the map because you were very much intended to like find that and then be told to go talk to him, and I just kind of didn't because he was like next to the shrine. So I'm going up this area, getting my ass handed to me by falling boulders, and there's there's this stupid...
The boulders were my favorite.
The boulders were pretty good. There's like this camp of Lizalfos with like shock arrows that were kicking my ass for a while, and I get through them, and I keep going for a while, and then there's a blood moon, and then I find another camp of Lizalfos with shock arrows and have a hard time with that one, and then realize that it was the same one because I somehow got turned around because I don't have a fucking map, and I wandered into the same batch of enemies, and I kind of wanted to die. Like,
don't worry, you did. It was pretty good.
What the fuck? There's like a hookshot thing right there, and I went over there and I didn't see it.
Uh-oh.
Nah, it's right here. Yeah, I don't know. My feelings towards that game are still very mixed. I don't like that it doesn't have, like, heart drops, basically. That's my main issue with it. Because you gotta, like, actually...
Apparently it does.
What?
But, like, super, super rarely.
Bullshit.
Like, I've put almost 400 hours into the game and I've never seen it happen. But allegedly it does.
Okay.
I call bullshit.
Maybe in, like, one specific area.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like, when the game first came out, I saw two totally different types of people commenting on the game. Some of them were saying, like, this is the hardest Zelda game, like, I'm dying all the time, and it's, like, a strange change of pace, because usually the series is really easy. And then some of them are saying this game is piss easy, and I am, like, bored because I'm getting no challenge. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm pretty sure it's because the people who are getting no challenge are just constantly making, like, overpowered food and stuff, and giving themselves, like, these stat buffs, and I can't stand playing that way. I'm the exact opposite, where I pick up everything that I find,
you're
and
doing
then...
the seashells.
I pick up everything I find and do absolutely nothing with it, because if I have, like, 123 apples in my inventory, and I use a few, then I'm going to, like, feel bad for not having them anymore, so I'd rather just hoard everything and then never heal. And so I die a lot, because I refuse to make food.
I mean, my first death in that game was jumping off the tower. Because in the other games, you could jump off as fucking high as you wanted and just roll at the bottom and you'd be fine. But in this game, he just crumpled and died, and I'm like,
no,
oh.
I mean, there were limits to how high you could fall sometimes, but, like, in, like, Ocarina of Time, like, the Fire Temple, you fall down, like, fucking 5 stories, it's like a 200-foot drop, and you lose, like, a couple hearts. So you take damage, but it's not much.
But not much?
Yeah.
Also, you got a chamber stone for that.
Yeah, I saw.
That was sad.
Yeah, I chose to ignore that. More like a chamber pot. Oh.
Are you good? Oh.
Have I been in here? I feel like I've not done this. I apparently have not. I wonder if it's a seashell.
What could it be?
There's something near. Piddle on the dots. Piddle the Darth. Put that on the pedal, the Darth. Okay, I'm done.
Good song.
No, it wasn't.
You're right. Vaguely yodeling cantaloupe. Cantaloupe!
Okay, it just got better. Vaguely yodeling cantaloupe needs to be a thing now. That's up there with octopus log.
Oh my god, I'm stupid.
That's considerably better than the stupid thing I said the other day, which was we had this box that it's like Arkansas tomatoes or something, and it was a cardboard box with a picture of tomatoes on it, and it said like Arkansas something. I forget what the name of the brand was, and I called it the Arkansas tomato bag. So I mispronounced the name of the state, and I called it a bag even though it was a box, and I immediately realized how fucking stupid it was, and it just kind of became a running gag for a while. But, yeah, I think the vaguely yodeling cantaloupe is better.
He tried to sing caribou.
Well, it's caribou and antelope together. It worked out pretty well.
It did, yeah. That's probably what my brain was thinking.
Yeah. I need to find out what the hell the classification for that type of animal is, because I know there's a name for it. It's like how...
Here, I'll look it up.
You have, like, weasels and ferrets and otters and that kind of stuff. Those are called, like, mustelids. It's... I don't know what those are called. It's not equine, because that's horses.
See, term for who? Ungulate.
Okay, yeah, okay. I now that you've said it, I remember that. It was kind of on the tip of my tongue earlier.
Ungulate.
Okay.
The vaguely yodeling ungulate.
God.
I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. I accept my responsibility.
The turtles are becoming doctors. We need a defense.
Okay, so I've circled around this castle like 3 times. I need to not do that anymore. So let's see.
Protect ourselves. You shall build a turtle fence.
Can I go over this way, or... I don't know if I can.
A turtle fence does exactly what you would think it would. A turtle fence keeps turtles from getting hit by cars.
Okay, no. The turtle fence reminds me of Turtle Bridge, which is the name of Mr. Game & Watch's back air.
His what?
Back aerial move.
I definitely didn't think you said back hair.
Oh. That's an unpleasant image.
Hence the dramatic pause and then his what?
I'm now imagining this 2D character with, like, no features at all, just kind of being covered in, like, this fine hair, and it's very disturbing. I don't like it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry!
There we go.
I've disgraced humanity. Oh.
I made a noise. I saw a show.
Okay, dying on tea. Help.
Dying
Should
on
help.
tea. No, I got the real scoop. Also, I think I'm still missing a bottle.
Yes.
Do you know where that would be? Is it from fishing? I think I got a
No,
bottle
you got the
from
one
fishing.
from fishing.
Is it from the river rapids?
I think it's in a cave.
Oh.
No,
Where do you know? My brother's bondage. God, that voice is getting worse every time I do it. Oh, there's a chesticle. Mary Kate and Ashley are salmonella.
Oh.
Turns out this is the bottle right here. It was not.
I want to say
It's 50 bucks.
I'm looking it up right now. I want to say it's... No, not How to Capture a Bottle, you jackass. There's one of them... I want to say in Animal Town, but I don't know. Okay, fishing... Oh, lol, JK. Guess where it's from.
Fishing.
Guess what you do. No.
River Rapids.
No.
Seashells.
No.
Dante's Dungeons.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have to do them eventually anyway. Why am I cutting all this grass? Who told me that I could find...
You can find my seashell.
My house! Okay, well, there's the village, so we're coming back. I'll do some fishing when I go there. Just making sure there's nothing in this area. What?
Villaggio bread.
Are you saying words? Is that scripture?
You quoting scripture?
No, man. Ropes are for dopes. Alright,
The Dancing Brothers!
Glenn, Mart Bell, and the Killer Dynamo. Gonna have a good time tonight.
Dance themselves into a coma.
Ah, jeez, that's harsh. Fucking weird ass series. I love it. There's this guy at work that I had encountered a couple times before and then not really again afterwards, and I wasn't sure if he was just like we were borrowing him from a different store or what the story was, but I think he's going to be around more often now, and he kind of gets on my nerves a little bit because he feels the need to one-up everything. It's always like... It's like, I only got like 5 hours of sleep last night, so I'm kind of dying a little bit. And he's like, I only slept for 2 hours. I went to bed at 10 a.m. and got up at noon. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
What the fuck?
And then...
I kind of hate when people do that.
Yeah. But at one point, I think somebody just ordered something really stupid, or like they put in some dumb notes on their order. And so I wasn't really thinking, because like sometimes I'll just quote shit without people like this is gonna sound stupid because like in videos I constantly am quoting stuff without caring if people get the reference, but I usually don't do that as much in real life. But I kind of just did that because there's a Strong Bad email where he goes, "Took all three of you to come up with that question, huh? Some bright young men." And so I said the "some bright young men" part, and I did it in the voice, and then I like felt the need to explain it, and so I'm just like, have you heard of like Homestar Runner or Strong Bad before? He's like, oh yeah, I have, because I know a bunch of people who watch like some really weird shit, and I'm like, okay. I wouldn't think of it as really that weird, but alright. And then I like tried to engage further conversation on that subject and was met with nothing, basically. And then he's like, he's supposed to be there until 10 o'clock, and like I'm there until midnight, and so he's like, you care if I leave an hour early? I'm like, I mean, I kind of prefer that you didn't, but it's up to you, I guess. He's like, no man, that's fine, all he had to say was no. And then he leaves at 9 anyway.
Dude.
Thanks.
Does he not ask the manager? Like, what the fuck?
I mean, he did ask the
manager. Can your employees just leave? Oh.
Because he kept going on and on about, oh, I know how it is. You have to worry about the labor and everything. And I mean, it's kind of slow right now. I'm like, it's not that slow. Like, it's a Saturday. We're getting business.
Yeah. Ugh, labor targets. Fuck my life. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that anymore.
And yet you keep, like, you get a paper cut at your current job and you're like, I want to go back to McDonald's. I'm like, no, you don't. Stop saying that.
I don't. I never say that.
You've said it a few times.
I never said that I wanted to go back to McDonald's. I just said that I miss the, like, busy times because they keep me occupied.
I guess. I'm like, you best step correct. Don't even know what that means.
Oh god, I would never want to go back to McDonald's. I was reading, like, a Reddit thread of, like, retail workers. What was the one time that made you feel like you were about to lose your shit? I was reading through all of these comments and I'm like, oh boy, I have so many.
Yeah.
I ended up telling the story about the guy who threw coffee at me at 5 in the morning.
God, that fucking guy.
Jesus.
I mean, I saw a Reddit thread yesterday that was just, it was a photo of somebody's order at a pizza place, and they're like, they ordered a medium, but then in the notes they said they wanted a large. We can't do that, because then they're not paying for the large. I'm like, what, is this your first day? People do this shit, like, constantly. Like... And then they get indignant if you don't give them free stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, they order a fucking medium pan pizza, and they're like, make it a stuffed crust. I'm like, okay, I have several objections to this. First of all, we don't make a medium stuffed crust, they're always large. Secondly, a stuffed crust is made out of hand-tossed dough, not pan. And lastly, you're not paying for a fucking stuffed crust, so you're not getting one. Like, what the f...
Yeah.
People be illin'. Dag, yo. I don't even know what I just said. Okay, I think I've cleared out the majority of this lower area, so I don't think there's much left to check there, hopefully. I did want to go back to the first dungeon, just to double-check something there. And then 16 hours of fishing, let's go. This is the video of very little actual substance happening, but hopefully vaguely entertaining discussion. Now that I've said that, I've cursed it, and we're not gonna have anything to talk about.
No, never again. I'm fresh out.
The vaguely
I could tell shitty
shrieking
McDonald's story.
Avocado. Go for it. Oh, seashell.
Oh god, which one should I tell?
Well, I start with the 5 a.m. coffee guy, and then I guess you can think of, like, other ones.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so, I was helping a different store.
Actually,
so, like,
before you even get into this story, I feel like the full history of how you just kind of got bullied into being a manager and constantly promoted is probably a good place to start.
Okay, that is good. Okay, so I was like a crew member for about a year and a half. Nobody even approached me about like stepping up because like the McDonald's thing is like there's the crew members, crew trainers, team leaders, and then management. So I was just a crew member, happy doing that. I worked in kitchen, I kept my mouth shut, I didn't talk to anybody because I was a shy little fucker. And then, like, one September day, we get the new, like, first assistant manager, and he just kind of picks a handful of us and says, we're gonna have a meeting. And we're like, okay, sure. Like, that happens sometimes. Sometimes managers will pick random people and have a bit of a meeting with them just to see, like, if there's things that can be improved in the restaurant. Just get an inside view of, like, things that are going on. So that's all we thought this was. So 3 hours later, after this meeting was done, and the only thing he's talked about was his recent trip to India.
Oh.
Like, that's it. That's all we talked about. He just talked about his vacation for 3 hours. And he's all like, okay, well, your new, like, name tag should be coming in soon. We just ordered some crew trainer ones, and we're all just like, what the fuck? He's all like, oh yeah, you're all crew trainers now, and we're like, oh, alright, sure.
I
that
forgot
works.
how to fish.
Do you need me to re-explain it, or do you remember?
You tap quickly when they're facing you and stop when they're facing away, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
or like tap like intermittently, I guess,
Yeah.
when they're facing away.
I'll probably have to reload.
Anyways, so about 2 days after my apparent promotion, I get a text from my boss at like 7 p.m. telling me that I was going to work 11 to 7 at Warman, which is 20 minutes outside of the city. And I'm just like, okay, I have no car. Like, I can't get there. Like, I can't do this. I physically cannot. And he's just like, don't worry, just come to the store and we've got a ride for you. And I'm like, alright, fine. So I go to the store and the, like, operation manager, who is like my boss's boss's boss, is all like, alright, let's go to Warman. I'm like, what the fuck? So indeed, like, and this was back when they were like first opening their store. It's only been open for like 2 years. And they're like, okay, well, you're a crew trainer, why don't you train all of our kitchen crew? And I'm like, because I've been a crew trainer for 2 days and I was never really trained to train, but sure, let's do this.
Lots and lots of trains. That's all I got.
It was just really weird.
Yeah.
So I was a crew trainer for like a few months, and then one day I was like really, really sick, like passing out sick, and so I called in, and he's just like, yeah, but it's Friday, and we're gonna need you in kitchen, and I'm like, I cannot stand up.
If you could just do that, that'd
but
be
sure.
great.
So he was all like, yeah, you have to come in from 5 to 7. I'm like, fuck you, fuck. So I go in, and like half an hour into my shift, he like pulls me aside, and I'm like, hey, can I go home? Like, it's clear that I'm not doing very well. And he's just like, oh, I just wanted to give you this. And he hands me like this notebook, and I'm like, alright, I'll just put it with my bag. So I go and put it with my bag. I don't even fucking look at what it is. I am like so out of it, I don't even give a fuck. And so Andy picks me up, and I go into his car, and he's like, oh, what do you have? And I'm like, I don't know, like, Drew gave me this book. And he's like, do you even know what that is? I'm like, I honestly haven't looked at it. He's like, well, that's for the team leader course, so you're being promoted. And I'm like, what the fuck?
God.
So I, like, take this book, and, like, he gives this book to me, like, a week and a half before the class. And you're supposed to have, like, 2 months to prepare.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And this is for being the trainer or the team lead, or
the team leader, which is just the step below manager. And I'm like, okay, I guess, sure.
So I'm assuming
That's
for that
fine.
you basically just kind of need to know like how to run essentially everything in the store.
Yeah, you need to know how to do every area of the store and be able to lead those areas. I have never done anything except kitchen at this point.
That's so stupid.
Yeah. No. So I go to this course, and they're like, okay, now everybody's done this, right? I'm like, I've only learned kitchen, and they're just like, what the fuck?
And then
So
of
I'm
course
like,
I'm sure
alright,
it's your
whatever.
fault for not knowing.
Well, they didn't give a fuck. They're like, okay, well, you'll have a little bit of difficulty with the, like, front stations, but that's fine. And I'm like, okay, like, whatever, sure.
So,
Like, I'm here.
just to interrupt real quick here, am I supposed to be doing something specific? Because there was a cheap earlier. It got away. I don't know how to make it come back, so I'm just kind of catching other stuff. Like,
You can, or you can just kind of keep going in and out of it, I guess. It should reset the fish if you go out.
I'm gonna try to catch a couple others, I guess, but yeah, if it doesn't respawn, then this is kind of dumb.
Yeah. So at the end of this class, which was like an 8-hour all-day thing, we took a test, I got like a 98%. They're like, congrats, you graduated, you're a team leader now.
You
And I'm
won
like,
the mile.
Great. So I go back to my place, to my store, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a team leader now, woohoo. They get me a new uniform because team leader new. And I was like, okay, sweet, I guess I'll just be a team leader from now on. I was pretty much doing, like, running the kitchen most of the time anyways. It's not really much of a difference. Not even a month later, they're like, we're gonna train you in the front because you're going to your management panel in a week. And I'm like, I'm doing what now?
Oh, fucking God.
Like, I got trained in the front and drive-through, all of the stations in those 2 areas, in 1 3-hour training session a week before I became a manager. A week! Like, to put that in a bit of perspective, each area inside of, like, the area, like, front counter, you've got the running, you've got the order taking. Each one of those is supposed to be a 4-hour training period. And then in the drive-thru, there's drive-thru lane order taking, there's doing all of the drinks, there's presenting, and then there's running.
Presenting.
And each one of those is also supposed to be a 4-hour training period. I got it all smushed together into 3 hours.
God.
As my only training.
And from the sounds of things, it seemed like you were at least doing pretty okay. And they still kept...
Oh, I was fine at it.
Yeah, it's like, I mean... I imagine, like, it can't be that bad. The problem is just doing it under pressure, I guess.
Yeah.
So I hate the fishing.
I don't know. The fishing kind of sucks.
Oh, well, there's a blue. Okay, there's several. What the fuck is that fish on the? Why are there 3 different things here now? Oh.
Well, if you get all of them at this point, then you're good.
That would be nice. I'm kind of expecting to have some trouble.
But yeah, that was basically my story of how I just became a manager under no circumstance of my own.
I kind of wonder if they would have let you say no. Cheap,
I mean, I did say no to them once, and I got on the shit list for forever.
Oh.
Well, they tried to transfer me to a store that was, like, across the city. And I'm like, I don't have a car. That's an 1.5-hour bus ride every day.
Yeah.
There and back. So no, I'm not going to that store.
Fuck. How do you...
And they're like, oh, but we've already, like, transferred somebody from store over to your store. And I'm like, well, that fucking sucks. Like, I can't. Like, it's not my problem. And that's how I met Michael. Because, so the plan there was Michael, because Andy was quitting, so, or no, Andy was supposed to be promoted to our store manager.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Is there any advice I can be given here?
I really don't know. That blooper just fucked off.
Yes. That's 2 that I failed on. I'm guessing I'm probably gonna fail on the 3rd. Not a fan of the fishing in this game.
Well, if you fail this one, we could take a break from the fishing and go do some other hunting.
That was the plan.
But yeah, so like the plan for us was Andy was going to be promoted from kitchen manager to first assistant. I was supposed to be transferred to Corey Commons and become their kitchen manager, and their kitchen manager, Michael, was supposed to be transferred to our store. So it was just kind of a whole big switcheroo, except I told them no and refused to transfer, but Michael had already been transferred, So Korikoma's lost 2 of their managers.
Good. It's almost like maybe they
Or,
should
well, I
plan
guess just 1, but
to not just hope that things will work out.
yeah.
This is trash.
I don't
right
know.
here.
Michael and I are like best friends now, so. But I ended up having to do like my first overnights at
God
Korikoma's
fucking damn
because.
it!
Aw.
I hate the fishing. I'm trying so hard.
I know.
What do you want me to do?
Maybe fishing should be done off screen.
I guess. Now, I noticed that there was like a big sparkle in the water sometimes before I would talk to him. I wonder if that's like an indication that a rare fish is there. Maybe I can like go in and out of a house or something. But yeah, this sucks. I'm not doing that again. Like,
I don't remember what I was saying.
I don't either. You were just talking about the switching of managers between stores and...
Oh, I was gonna mention my first overnight shifts, because those were real good. It was at the store that I was supposed to transfer to, and my instructions were to just make sure that the kiosks were shut off at 3 a.m., and I'm like, okay, I don't know how to do that. Apparently,
now what does that mean?
They didn't tell me. What?
What does that mean, the kiosks?
Are like the self-ordering things that we have.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so that's all they told me. They didn't tell me how to shut them off. They didn't tell me that I was supposed to log in on the computer, do a entire system shutdown for the entire store, and restart it so that the next day wouldn't be fucked up. They told me nothing.
Yeah, I mean...
They're just like, okay, yeah, go.
You're just supposed to know. What are you, a fucking moron?
Yeah.
You don't know how to do everything without being told?
So yeah,
It's like
and then I got in trouble for it, and then I told my boss what happened, and he got pissed off at the other guy, because it was obvious that they were just pissed off at me because I didn't transfer there.
Mm.
So, that was fun.
Yeah. I don't have too many stories that are related to this kind of stuff that I could, like, give in return. Because I had a very brief and ill-motivated plan to be a manager at one point, and that absolutely did not go through because I pretty much found out immediately, like, oh, you need a driver's license because you have to be able to be a driver if they need you to do that. Okay, never mind, not doing it. But yeah, I've basically made every effort to never be promoted because I enjoy being lazy. Like, being the cook is already enough. I am quite okay with not adding more to that.
Yeah.
The few times they ever do ask me to do something else, depending on what it is, sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. Like, I remember this one time it was like really busy and they wanted me to, oh god, what's the term for it? I don't remember what they call it, but like, when the delivery drivers go out, dispatch is what it's called, they had to, like, figure out which orders to take, because, like, they don't necessarily want them to go in the order they were placed, because it also depends on how far away they are, and, like, the different places they can be delivered to, everything's in, like, this grid that has, like, there's a system to, like, tell which ones are further away and all this stuff, and, like, I've never heard any of this shit before. There we go. And they're like, yeah, can you just kind of, like, dispatch the drivers? I'm like, I literally don't know what that means. And they got kind of annoyed with that. And I'm like, I've been a cook for, like, a year and a half. I've never had to do this. I don't know what you're talking about, so why are you expecting me to do this? Like,
yeah.
But after that, they never asked me to do it again, so that was fine by me. Anyway, 5 a.m. coffee guy.
Oh god. So this is another story of me at a different store. Apparently I don't have any of my own stories at my own store. But I somehow got roped into doing every weekend overnight for the 8th Street location as a favor to a friend. He's our DM and also was the general manager at that store. So I'm like, fine, I'll do this for you. And so it was like my second last overnight there. And I'm just in the office doing some paperwork, and like one of the crew comes in, he's like, there's a guy out there who wants to use the phone. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I go and I like give him the phone, and like immediately this guy is just yelling, and he's just like, he claims to be in trouble with the Hells Angels, and they're tracking him down, and are going to murder him.
What the fuck?
And he's like demanding that I call the cops. And I just kind of like calmly explain to him, like, I don't have any proof of this, so I cannot call the cops for you because I will get in trouble. But I can give you the phone and you...
Yeah, like, why can't he just do it?
Yeah.
Shit.
Right? I'm like, I will gladly give you the phone and you can call the cops yourself. Like, I have no issues doing that. And apparently that just wasn't fucking good enough for him.
I guess.
And he just like, he just goes off on me, calling me like every obscure and stupid name. You know, all of the bad names. Did he call you a
clap-having Jezebel?
No.
Okay.
It was different C words.
Well, yeah, I kind of figured that was probably one of them.
But yeah, he just like goes off on me, and I'm just sitting there like, the fuck even? So, I'm not gonna sit there and take that in front of all my crew. So I just look at him, I'm like, get the fuck out of my restaurant. And he just looks at me and gestures to the coffee in his hand. He's all like, well, what about my food? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about your food. Get the fuck out, or I'll call the cops on you. And so he just like tosses his entire large coffee over the counter, like directly at me. And it was really hot because we brewed that fucker a fresh pot. Regretting that. And then he like stormed out so violently that like he knocked the automatic doors off their track.
Jesus Christ.
Right? And I'm just like, well, alright, bye. So I just kind of shrug and pick up a mop, and I'm like, I better just wipe up this coffee. Except then the crew like took the mop from me and told me to go finish my paperwork and sit down. I'm like, okay, this is fine.
Like, I wonder if there's...
I was pretty sure that guy was like about to jump the counter and fucking deck me.
Like, do these people really think that if they act up enough, they're gonna, like, everything's gonna turn out okay? Like...
Well, I'm pretty sure this dude was drunk.
It's like, there's a certain point where, like, a line has been crossed, and crossing the line further is not going to help your cause. And people don't seem to realize that.
I mean, I've said it to you before, like, as a manager, I didn't take shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna yell at me, or if you're gonna yell at one of my employees, like, I will tell you to get the fuck out. I was not one of those managers who, like, rolled over to do whatever the customer said.
Like, oh, just give him something for free.
Yeah, no. Well, and, like, the one time that it happened during a day shift was actually at my store, and like one of my she was an employee, but she was also one of like my parents' friend's friend, so like I did have personal connections to her, but like we never really hung outside of work or anything. She always found it weird because she like knew me when I was 13 and now I was her manager. But, like, she's a little bit, like, slow. She doesn't really... sometimes you have to explain things to her very simply. And these people were not very simple. they were just kind of going on and on about, like, some random thing they wanted. I can't even remember what it was, but it was not something that was, like, regularly on the menu. And I was called over because I had just kind of heard them talking, and I heard them call her a stupid bitch. And I'm like, okay, I see how it is. So I went over there, and I'm like, is there a problem here? And I was like putting on my smiley, happy manager face, and he basically just kept calling her names to me and telling me that she was stupid, and I'm like, okay, well, you can get out now. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna let you talk to my employees that way, you can get out. And they're like, but we haven't ordered anything. I'm like, good, get out. Like, fuck off. You cannot talk to my employees that way. And, like, the girl that was with him was just like, we can talk about her however we want. I'm like, yeah, sure, get out.
Yeah. It's just, I don't understand how people get
I
that
kind of
way.
enjoyed telling people off, honestly.
No, I mean, that's the good part of it, but it's like, you always hear both sides of the story. Like, you'll have the people who are like, oh my god, I can't believe how rude these managers were to me, and then you have the actual people in the store who are like, dude, look at this asshole. And it's just...
Yeah.
So I will, like,
Well,
the thing
I
is,
have no
will
doubt
always...
that those people went and told all their friends that I was a complete bitch. And I don't care,
Oh,
because I
probably.
was a bitch, but they were being a bitch too.
I mean, not really. Yeah, it's just... the thing with me is, like, I will pretty much always side with the store. Like, I'm sure there's cases where someone is acting out of line and the customer is getting mistreated, but those have got to be in the minority.
Yeah.
So, how long have I been recording? This has been almost an hour. I've gotten one heart piece. I have gotten a decent number of seashells, but, yeah, one heart piece.
We might just have to off-screen some of this.
Probably, but, oh, there's more seashells, apparently. Is there a way that I can tell where it is? Because, like, every other one that I've had to dig up, it was,
I think this one might be in a tree.
yeah, I'm just now thinking that. Every other one that I've dug up had always had some kind of visual indication. It's just that it's a visual indication that would be clearer on a Game Boy screen when there's very little detail, and it's like, oh, look, there's a pebble formation around this empty spot on the ground. Whereas here, I just kind of don't pay attention to that. Where was that pinging? See, I don't know.
Did you try that tree? No, the other one. Yeah. No? This is
And
good.
so we dig. Okay, that one just had no indication.
Oh. Dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel. Dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel. Quick before the hyenas come. Dig a tunnel, dig. We're done with that. What, you don't like The Lion King 1.5?
I saw it once. I am surprised that I saw it once, because I don't think I've ever seen any of the other straight-to-video Disney sequels, but it was a movie that existed. That's about all I could say about it.
That would be accurate.
I'm gonna assume this area is good because I've been through it before, like, in the last video. That's probably a dangerous assumption to make, but I don't want to go up there again. So, that's a good portion of the overworld. I could go to the animal village, though.
Village.
You know that.
Did you get the seashell from playing Marin's song for the walrus?
Didn't you have to play this song for the walrus just to get him to leave?
Oh yeah, you have to play it for him again.
Oh. Okay, no,
Except he's not actually there. You just go to where he was before and play the song.
Oh! I see. Okay. No, I don't think I got that one.
And I think you also get one if you talk to the goat thing that you gave the flower to.
Yo. There's apparently a
Oh, and
seashell
that
here.
thing. Yeah, you couldn't get that before because you didn't have the magnifying glass.
Oh, was he invisible?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you commented on the ripples that were in the water, but I don't think you realized that something was actually there.
Cave at Taranbo Shores. Oh, that was the guy that they get the boomerang from, I think.
Yeah.
Taranbo!
And there's the flower thing.
Yeah, I'm looking for Toriel.
Oh.
Bird up. Brr,
See,
brr,
look at this
brr.
progress.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting there. I can also check what the 40 shell reward is. It's probably not much that I care about. What if it's
Actually, that one's the good one.
Oh, okay.
Notice how I said the good one, not a good one.
Well, yeah, because
Fucking swear to God.
I'm guessing the reward for all 50 is Beetle's gold membership card from Wind Waker, which is just he kind of points finger guns at you and is like, "Yeah, I appreciate you."
Same. We had a D&D NPC that was literally just called Finger Guns, and he showed up whenever we fucked something up. And he's just like, guys, what the fuck?
Wasn't there also, like, not Arnold?
Yeah.
What was not Arnold's deal?
He was a demigod person who sold magical items, and my players asked what his name was, and I didn't have a name, and so he just like wouldn't tell them his name. So they guessed, and their first guess was Arnold, and he said it's not Arnold, and then they just dubbed him not Arnold.
How am I losing to the town? I entered a fight with the town and I have lost.
I fought the town, and the town won.
Dibble the bar. Dibble the bar. Dibble the bar. Okay, I'm done.
Don't forget about the walrus.
I will forget about the walrus intentionally.
Like the walrus that I had in my spare bedroom.
Yes. Oh, well, there's some herpes.
That walrus allowed me to speak to you.
What? Oh, because it was a computer, right?
Yeah.
Was that actually the timeline? Was that, like, when you first
That was
started?
my first computer.
Huh.
Yeah.
Back when you were only, 5 years old now.
I was 11, whatever.
Look at me being fancy.
Boom.
I think that was the, first bomb arrow I've used in the game, because I forgot they were a thing.
I too forgot.
But did you forget, or did you just not remember?
I didn't forget, I just didn't remember.
Oh!
That's no fun.
Animal Village music is horrible. I hate it.
Not as bad as that one boss music, that, like the rock snake guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the thing pings, and obviously your first instinct is to play Marin's song.
Of course. Oh, and it didn't even work. Okay.
Oh.
We're walking through. Okay.
Why did it not work?
Was I standing, like, 3 feet to the side? What the hell? Do I have to do it from on
I
top
think
of the
you might have
ledge?
to stand, like, right close to the...
That is incredibly bullshit, if that's the case. Oh my god. I like how you're just kind of speaking her face. Yeah. So am I actually missing 5 heart pieces, or am I only missing 1? Is there another container other than the Dampy one?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna call him Dampy. I don't give a shit. I mean, I could buy that there's another
There's definitely
5,
some
but,
shells in the desert.
Ha 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 ha. Okay, that's enough of that. Pedal the Doth. Why do I keep saying pedal the Doth?
Preferred.
Insert Phineas and Ferb quote here. I should probably give more than that, because I don't know if you know what I meant, but there's just this image I've seen a few times of, like, Doofenshmirtz and Perry in the desert, and
Oh, yeah.
he's like,
I have
why do you
seen that.
always see a
It's
cow?
like, why is it only the cow?
Yeah. It's like, why is there always a cow skull in the desert? And where's the rest of the
Where's
body?
the rest of the cow? Like a reference I understood.
That was a pretty good show.
My mother is home.
For Mother Volcano Bake Mate. Okay, well, let me check over here. I'm guessing I've already checked into these boulders.
Did you go in the sand pit?
I did not. I didn't know that was a thing. I was gonna go in the stairs first, but let me check this, I guess.
That's a good noise.
I might have already been down here.
Oh.
Yeah, there's just the staircase. Okay, the sand pit was worthless. So, what's left to check? I'm not counting anything on Tall Mountain yet, or Telltale Heights, or whatever it is. I'm just now making the connection that there's a Tall Mountain in Mario 64, and it's probably named after this. I never thought of that. But, I'm gonna not check any of that place because I've been through it 14 million times, and there probably still is stuff, but I'm gonna wait until next time, because fuck that. I would like to check this other ruins area, and maybe give the, like, the, whatchamacallit, the River Rapids another go. I don't know. Oh, good! I've got another comment from that one asshole who thinks he knows shit. Let's see what he's saying this time. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, I'm tempted to read out his comment. Dude, he's still commenting. Okay,
Oh my god.
To give some explanation here, because I've given, like, absolutely no indication of what I'm talking about. I already told you this, but, last night I got a random comment on my original Beanie video from over 3 years ago, basically saying, like, I have a princess with PVC pellets, and how much do you think it's worth? And it has 10 errors. And I'm like, well, the errors are meaningless, and otherwise it's like maybe $25 or a little bit more, depending, like, whatever. And so he gets all mad at me. He's like, "But you didn't. You're not telling me about the errors, though." I'm like, "Okay, well, you didn't tell me what the fuck they were. You just said it had errors, and that doesn't mean anything. So I can't help you. And also, errors are bullshit and have nothing to do with value. So, like, no." And I actually gave a legitimate response. Like, I tried not to be an asshole, and then he was an asshole to me, and so now he's arguing about, like, he's like, I have a full collection of 3rd and 4th gen, which I highly doubt. There's no way he has every 3rd gen, because most of those are really expensive. And what else did it say? It was, yeah, I have the full set of 3rd and 4th gen. I have a piece with tag errors, original spelled with 2 I's. Okay, so do I. It's worth $10. Curly with tag errors, 2 I's in original. Again, $10. The problem with your Beanie Baby collection is you have too many Zodiacs, lol. Like, what? In that video, I had one of them. So I don't know where he's getting that from. And I now do have the set of 12, but I never said that they were worth anything. Let's see. You have to stick with a collection inside of your collection. Don't buy them in bulk. Only buy what you need. 50 cents for a rhino at the thrift shop versus selling it on eBay for 70 is a damn good profit. You're not selling no damn rhino for 70. Just saying that. Like, dude. And he's talking to me as if I'm a reseller, which I'm not. I do not sell. Like, I hate when people do that. I mean, I don't hate when people sell. I hate when people try to, like, find stuff for cheap. Like, buying it from people who don't know what they have and then sell it back for a profit. I find that that's kind of a dick move. So, I don't do that. I don't know. Did you need to be done, or are we still okay going for a while?
Yeah, my mom's been asking for me.
Okay. Well, this is a random place to stop, but that's fine. We have almost made some progress. What did I even get? I was talking over it. Was it just a sword upgrade?
Oh yeah, it was.
Okay. So, surprisingly doing pretty well on the seashell hunt, not so much on the heart piece hunt. Maybe next time I can do the fishing off screen or something, and I don't know. But,
God, the fishing.
Until then, don't forget that there's currently at least 16 spiders on you.
And a vaguely yodeling cantaloupe.
Yes.